All right, how you guys doing? So this is Neil from masterpaintnow.com, and I got a new tutorial for you. And basically what I'm going to be doing is taking a student here that has made huge progression. Now this is when he first submitted, and I'm going to scroll down the page to show, I give him little tips and tricks to tell him how to perfect it. Now he's in the very beginning of this course here, and he makes huge progress. And you can see here at the end the progress he's made. I'm going to talk about how you can make that progress as well. And then here's the end result now where he's at. He hasn't got into the individual parts of the face yet, that is drawing pretty lips and things like that. This is just the setup for the face so that the proportions are correct. And I'm going to show you how you can also make this kind of huge leap from drawing like this, where everything is just obviously not correct, and then coming down and getting something like this here. Just absolutely amazing progress. I can't believe it. This was over a course of a few days that this happened. This is for my course on Udemy. It's a top-selling course, Learn to Draw Pretty Faces for comic books. I also have other courses like, my anatomy course for figure drawing, which has over 18,000 students now. And that's all paying students. For those that don't know who I am, just really quickly before we get started, I am Neil, the best-selling author for How to Draw Awesome Figures. You can find it on Amazon, both paperback. I recommend the paperback actually, unless you have a good viewer for the computer tablet that allows you to zoom in on things. If you can't have a zoom ability, then definitely get the paperback version. All right, so that's that, and also I'm the top art instructor on Udemy. So, all right, let's get started here. So when he first started, you can see that this face, I thought this face was the best one he had. The eyes are a little too far apart, too close to the edge of the face here. He drew the whole nose in, which is not something you want to do. But the nose is properly placed with the triangles. The eyes is going to be a little bit closer together. Lips are kind of big. Chin is kind of big for a female. And this one here just has all kinds of problems, so I didn't even address that one. I chose his best one. Here's the template that I teach within my drawing course on drawing faces, on things to look out for, and it's kind of like a template that you can use in order to train your brain to get the proportions correctly. I had given him some things he can do to kind of revise this, but still the face is too long, and there's some other problems with it. So I said, make the eyes small, make the lips smaller, erase the jawline and raise up the chin, then redraw the jawline, because mainly what's making the face look long here is all this here is too long from the nose here. Everything here is fine, and the hairline will make it all look good. So coming down here, he makes some adjustments. You can see that already these little bit of adjustments he's made is starting to make a big difference, and he knows how to make these adjustments because he knows my teaching already, the first few lessons here that show proportions and stuff like that, which is what he's working on. I said, looking better, draw the eyebrows a bit closer together, because you can see the eyebrows are pretty far apart. The eyebrows actually come closer together. That is, they pass the line. If you feel your own eyebrow or look in the mirror, you'll see that the inside of your eyebrow actually comes closer to the nose than the edge of your eye. I said also to nose down just a tad. It seems like he had brought it up a little bit higher when he redrew it. And eyes just a tad small and close together. So I meant to say closer. Oh yeah, I did say close together. And then chin needs to be thinner. This chin's just way too wide for a female. So he makes some adjustments, and we start to get something much better. And I'm like, hey, great, that's fantastic. So then finally, looking better, and this is how you can see I also interact with my students. So if you have the bravery of posting your stuff, I'm willing to give you some tips and stuff to help you get to the next part of the course. So looking better, don't draw lines on the side of the nose, just erase them. That's pretty much it. And then once you did that, you can see that the whole face looks so much better. Now you don't have these side lines drawn. You want to just use very, very light markings with your pencil, almost like shading to, if you want anything there, like maybe you'd shade this side right here if the light's coming from the right hand side, or predominantly from the right hand side. Now, what are some of the things that he could have done from the beginning? So let's just look at what I recommended, and let's take a snapshot of the very first face here, and then what are some things he could have done just from this snapshot here to make things better. So doing that, we're going to open a new file here in Manga Studio 5. Now I get this question a lot, what is it that you use? And so I use Manga Studio 5 EX. Now you don't have to have the EX version, it's unnecessary. I'm just going to choose B4 here and get rid of this. but now it's known as Clip Paint Studio. So Clip Paint Studio and Manga Studio 5 are like the same. They're the same software designed by the same people. They just changed the name. So if you're trying to find it now, you might want to go find Clip Paint Studio. And I would just, the pro version should be fine. I think there's two versions. Anyway, the cheaper version is more than adequate to do everything you need to do for drawing comics and stuff. Let's go ahead and paste this in here. And I can just drag this little icon up here to the face. And I'm going to zoom in just a little bit here. Now also, for those that are wondering, what am I drawing on right now? I'm actually drawing on the Wacom, or some people say Wacom, Cintiq 13X. I prefer the smaller tablet versus the big tablet. I can afford, obviously, the big tablet, but it just seems like you have to make really big, wide strokes in order to draw what you're drawing. I just don't, I had a big tablet before and I just felt like my arm got tired a lot, whereas this, everything's tight and smooth. I can still draw the same. I can still make big strokes from here to here if I need to, and I can always zoom out to make the bigger strokes, so it's not a bigger deal. That is, if I wanted to make a really big stroke over here, I can just zoom out and bam, now I can make a big stroke. So yeah. So the first thing is I'm going to go ahead and turn this down, and we're just going to draw right over it to show you the differences that I was talking about for him to make. So the first thing is I said, hey, let's draw the eyes, just a tad bit closer together here and a little bit smaller. And to do that, I'm going to draw the rhombus shape here. This is the basic shape that I teach to draw your eyes with. So when you're first drawing eyes, if you use this rhombus shape, you'll find that your eyes will look really cool and pretty comic style. Now at this stage here, we're not worried about much of anything except for the placement of things. So you're not really worried about style or anything like that, but I'm just going to, naturally, it's hard for me not to have at least some style. The eyebrows, again, are closer together than the eyes themselves. And bam, like that. And then you want to draw the eyes themselves. So the eyes are going to be about like this here. You're not going to see the whole upper part of the eye, because always, no matter what, unless your eyes are like super wide open, like you're scared or something, if you're just in a relaxed, some sort of relaxed, you know, I guess emotion, then you're going to see that your eyes are going to have this relaxed posture to them. The eyes will come down a little bit. Anyway, so just bear with me here. You're going to see a dramatic change here in just a moment. We'll keep the kind of wide nose that he's gone with. I'm going to add just a little bit of the bridge of nose there. Maybe add just a little bit of this, and then come down, add a little bit of the septum underneath the nose here with a little bit of shadowing. And then the lip, we're going to bring up a little bit higher. And one thing about lips, and again, you know, he hasn't got to the part about lips, but if you just draw straight down the eyes, that's where the outermost edge of the lip is going to be. But lips, the top lip comes like this, it comes down, and then it comes across here, and it comes up a little bit like that. That's the basic shape. And then you have your bottom lip, which comes, you know, like so. This is the basic shape of sexy lips, and it's the basic shape of lips in general. They don't have a straight line. Sometimes this isn't quite as exaggerated. This is if their mouth is maybe partly open. But what's important is that bottom lip goes like this, kind of comes up, comes across, comes down. This is the basic shape of the upper lip, and you can make this less intense, but that's still going to be that's how the shape should look. It shouldn't just be a straight line. So we're going to draw this down right here. Again, this right here starts off straight, and then it kind of comes up a little bit like that. I'm going to make it to where it's not. The chin doesn't need to be nearly as far down, especially when you're drawing comic books, because you're not going to be drawing all the shading and stuff. Now, from here, we can still draw this coming up here. I'm going to have the hairline somewhere like in there, let's say. And in this case, we can, you know, start to maybe kind of just draw some basic hairline here, and then we can decide what the hair is going to be doing as it falls down here. Yeah, that front part and the back part comes in. Anyway, I don't want to draw too much of the hair yet. We'll draw just the earlobe for now, just to show where it's at. Now, when you draw the face kind of comes out right here a little bit, and there's also a little bit of space right here for the eyebrow. And I might have made the eyes a little bit too close together, but that's alright. I'll fix it in just a second. It kind of comes at an angle. So imagine you have this straight line coming down. This is about like a 45-degree angle, and just imagine you want that much space. You want it to kind of look like that if you have it straight down and come in. So he has that part down pretty well, but then right at the edge of the lips, that's where you start curving. So when we have a straight view of the face, depending on the perspective, obviously, whether or not if you're looking straight down at the face, it's going to change. Or you're looking up at the face, or you can see up the nostrils, it's going to change that. But if you're kind of looking straight on at the face, then the straight line right here, or at the center of the lips, is where the curvature of your jaw is going to start taking place. And I can see already that I can definitely take this face and make it a little bit bigger. So now we can see that it's starting to look better, and from here all I have to do is just show that, hey, let's just take the placement of things here, and let's just move them a little bit. I don't have to do much. The eyes are almost exactly where they needed to be, but we're going to take them and just move them over just a little bit like that. And these are like the kind of adjustments that you want to like slowly make as you're working on the drawing. And the jawline, this is really cool with when we're working digitally, you can kind of, I don't know if you want to call it cheating, but it's definitely takes a lot less time to do this than it would if I were to have to redraw everything. Erase it and redraw. And again, remember, you can kind of like start over too, like get the basic thing down and go, okay, I need to make so many corrections. Use a piece of just use regular drawing paper, and then a good light board. I actually have a light board over here. I can't remember the name of it, Huion, I think it is, but it's the one that lights up the brightest, and the exact model. I had to do a lot of research to find the exact model. I ended up buying two because the first model wasn't bright enough for watercolor paper. But anyway, and they cost like around the same price. So I like to bring, I know the neck naturally like attaches more around the ear, but for comic books, this is where we typically, why am I doing that? I don't know why I'm drawing that way. You should focus on drawing nice clean lines here. We'll just kind of add a little bit of shape there. Add a little bit of shadowing to the upper lip, since typically, and then I'll add just these kind of bubbles here. A little bit of shadowing to the bottom lip here. Bam. And sometimes I'll even add this little under shadow here to the bottom lip. And if you want, maybe you can add just a little bit of lines like that. Get rid of the image underneath. And you can see he pretty much had the right idea. Now, his earlobes I think were a little bit high, and I don't think I addressed that. I don't know if he ended up fixing that or not. But the earlobes should come down a little bit further, because the ears typically start from the top of the eyebrows and they come down to the bottom of the nose. And so your earlobe should be like right here when you're drawing the earlobe. And then from here we can, have couple strands of hair and stuff, and hair is something I teach later on in the course, so he hasn't got even close to that part of the course yet. We're going to kind of add just some basic outline here of hair, nothing special. We're not trying to draw. This is a very, very quick sketch. As you can see, maybe a couple of hairs come through the neck here, and then voila. And now we're starting to get something that resembles more of what I'm teaching and where I want him to go with his drawings. And then you can start to add details and things like that to the face. In this case, we're just adding a little bit of just a very, very little bit of makeup done very, very quickly, and you can start to see how it starts to come together. And then when you add this kind of outside line here, this is probably what makes the eye look bigger, because the eye is really not that big on its own, but when you add that extra lid, that's what makes the eye look bigger to the naked eye. And so there you have it. So now you have a dramatic change, and from where he started, and then these are the changes I was having him make. Now, of course, once he gets better at drawing lips and things like that, you can see here his lips. This is not how you want to draw lips. Like this isn't how lips look. Lips don't look like this. So when you're drawing lips, just make sure, and especially they don't come up like that, even if you're smiling. That's not how the upper lip looks. The bottom lip sometimes looks like this. That's fine, but the upper lip doesn't ever look like that. So instead, if you want that style of lip, draw this a little bit higher, and then come down here, and then come straight, then come down, and then come straight. So it's kind of be like that. And if you want that kind of pointy lip look here, like he has, you can draw that kind of lip. This obviously lip is too big, but then you can have the bottom lip coming across here, and still have that kind of same shape for the bottom lip. And now look at just doing that, how much different the face looks. And so even if I were to kind of keep the shape that he has here to the face, which isn't quite correct, if I were to put the proper looks to things, I'm keeping everything like the same size as he has it, but all I'm doing here is I'm just kind of rearranging things a little bit just to show that, you know, even if you don't have a proper, sorry, trying to draw and talk, but anyway, even if really I try and draw like really fast and talk, even if you don't have a proper placement of things, that is the perspective or the proportions, sorry, aren't quite correct, you can see that you can still get a nice looking female if it's close enough. Right? So I mean, it still looks wrong, but it still looks decent. Now, if you then take his face that he drew, and let's go ahead and get rid of that here. If you then get rid of his face that he drew before, let's go ahead and go back to that. His last face, not get rid of it, but if you take his last face, and if I were just to draw over this really fast and redo it, you'd see that, hey, that does make a difference just by having the different lips and things like that. So I'm going to do that very, very quickly, and we'll end out with that. Actually, I'm just gonna hit print screen on my keyboard, and then edit paste in here. And we'll go ahead and zoom in on this really fast. Again, this will be very quick. So I'm going to be really ignoring a lot of shapes. That is, I'm almost scribbling, but at the same time, I'm kind of adding a little bit of some style and stuff. Just saying this is a more further away face. I would still draw the lip up a little bit higher than what he did. Remember, it starts up and then it comes down here. And you don't even have to draw that line there if you don't want to, but in this case I'm going to draw a little line there. Just do basic shapes like he has here for the ears. Have the cheeks come out a little bit and then curve this line. I'm just using the exact same size that he has here for everything. Just all I'm doing is I'm adding a little bit of flair to it to show sorry, trying to draw fast and thinking and talking sometimes doesn't work so well. I'm just adding the tiniest little bit of flair to it, just to show that, hey, look at, if he were to start to learn to draw eyes and stuff, and this eye came out really wacko. That's what happens when you draw fast. But if he were to learn how to draw eyes and things like that, and like I said, I did this very, very quickly, so if I were to take my time, I could make it look a lot nicer. But you see the structure of the face is fine now. He actually had a pretty good structure of the face, and he did that in a matter of a couple of days, right? So he spent a few days learning and watching and doing some drawings, did a few drawings. This was the best one out of all of them, so I just gave him, all I did was give him this information. I didn't show him what to do. I just simply typed a few sentences saying, do this, do that, as you saw. And just by making those adjustments, because he understands the concepts that I teach in the course, he was able to come up with something like, if he were to add proper, and once he learns how to draw good noses and good mouths and good eyes and eyebrows, he'll have something like this just based on the template he has now. Now, he still needs work on the proportions a little bit. They're not perfect yet, but once that's there, you can see that once you have a good foundation, that is, you know how to draw the proper proportions of the face, once you have that down to muscle memory, then all you have to do is learn how to draw good eyes, noses, mouths, eyebrows. You plug those pieces in where they're supposed to be, because now you know where they're supposed to be. You have the basic shapes that are supposed to be there. You just change those basic shapes into proper lips and nose and eyes and eyebrows, and suddenly boom, and then you learn how to draw hair, and now you can draw sexy faces from the front view. And then you learn the template for the side view, and that is profile, and then from the 3/4 view, and then you can start doing views from up and down and so forth, because I teach all that kind of stuff, and how to train the brain to learn how to do this from your imagination. Because when you're working on comic books or you're working for animation, you don't have time to look at references. I mean, yeah, you might look at references of a character, so you don't lose the likeness of what they look like. But you don't have time to sit there and go, okay, I need to sit there and look at you need to be able to draw this from your mind. You need to know that mind map. You need to be able to just quickly go, you know what, I know what the face looks like, and you need to be able to have this this mind map down quickly, so you can just quickly start, etching out things, and you know that, hey, this is where things are going to be, and that to the point to where you don't even have to do the whole face out. You can just start to come and start with the eyes or something, or start with the nose or whatever, and I know that this is where the nose is going to be, and then I know that my lips are going to be somewhere in here, and I'm just going to draw very quickly here just some basic shapes here. And you know that the face is to come down, it's to come here, the jawline or the chin, where it's going to be, and so you can just start to quickly come in and make these shapes and come down, come down with the neck here, and then anyway, so as you start to get better at drawing, we'll add some bangs to her, right? As you start to get, well, maybe I'll add a little bow tie here. You can start to see how just quick sketches here, and we're giving her maybe some, I like these, what do they call these, tendrils or something, coming down right here. And that right there, bam, we have this basic idea of a face that I just drew super, super, super fast. And why was I able to do that basic idea of the face? Then I come in and I can start sketching in the proper eyes and everything for that character. How I was able to do that so fast? Because the mind map, and this, this character has a slightly longer nose than what I normally would draw, but and a longer face I would normally draw. But I can easily change that in digital by just going, hey, because it's just a sketch, very fast, and you saw how fast I did that. Actually, I'm going to come just straight across like this, and let's just bring this whole thing up and to where it's going to be like that right there. And then now I have my basic sketch, and then I would draw on this on another layer. In order to get to that level, this course will get you there. This is one of my courses that will get you there. I have other courses as well, like Discover How to Draw and Paint Comics, that has a whole thing dedicated to drawing the head. My anatomy goes into all the muscles of the face, all that kind of stuff, so that way you can learn how to properly shade it and all that kind of thing. But yeah, so just you really need to practice the fundamentals first. Don't go past the fundamentals. I mean, you can start learning how to draw pretty eyes, stuff like that. I'm not saying you can't jump around, but you really want to make sure you always come back to the fundamentals. That's what you should. That's what you should be practicing the most. The fundamentals. The fundamentals. That is, in this case, the proportions of the face. Yeah, it's boring, especially when you have to take measurements and things like that. But you have to take measurements at first, or do measurements, or at least follow some sort of map that the map that I have that I showed him, and that's in the course. Basically the proportion map. You have to follow something at first to train your brain to have those distances between them. After a while, I noticed I didn't do any measurement. I mean, except for the quick circle, that wasn't really measurement. It was just placement guidance. Other than that, everything else was just from organically my brain knowing where everything goes in relation to each other. I know the relation from the mouth to the nose, from the chin to the bottom lip, from the eyes to the nose, from the eyes to the edge of the face, from the jawline to the edge of the mouth, from the bottom of the chin. I know all these relationships because I've sat there and I've drawn hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of just basic faces like this right here. Just very, very quick sketches. But I had to draw slow at first because I had to get my mind to map in those relationships with the face map. So definitely learn it. It's awesome. It's great. You'll learn so much. And yeah, so if you're interested in the course, go check it out. It's on sale right now on my website. So if you go to my website, which is the links in the description, I know I talk fast. My brain moves fast. I'm trying to make the video short as I can here. Is go there and click on the link. It's masterpaintingnow.com. You'll see the different courses. You can also click on the courses link. I think on the home, it might be on the homepage, I'm not sure, but it might be in the courses link page. And it's on sale right now, and I have other courses on sale right now too. Sometimes my page might say they're only 50% off, but really they're like 85% off. So it's always good to click on it because I don't always update it, and it might only be $10 right now. So definitely check it out because normally it's $100 for the anatomy course, and then for this course I think it's normally like $70, and you can get it right now I think for $10 on my site. So yeah, I constantly just change those prices, and sometimes I update the things, sometimes I don't. That way it surprises people like, oh wow, I'm not paying 25, I'm only paying $10. That's great. So thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did enjoy this, if this has helped you at all, please do me a favor and help other people by sharing it. Let's not be selfish and hoard this knowledge to ourselves. Let's try to give it out to as many people as possible. Share it on your favorite social networks so other people can learn from it. You'd be surprised some people out there are also interested in art. So don't make an assumption. Just post it and share it. And they'll either be interested or they won't be interested. And if they're interested, then you've helped somebody else learn something. And that's a fantastic feeling to know that you help people. And that's why I do this. It's that feeling to know that I'm helping people to achieve something that I love doing, which is to be able to draw from my imagination. Notice when I drew this face, I had no references in front of me. I have nothing in front of me. I mean, you have to just take my word for it, but you can see how fast I drew it. That obviously wasn't looking at anything. There was nothing in front of me. That's all from my imagination, from my brain. And I teach how to do that. And that's such a gratifying, awesome feeling to be able to create comic books from your imagination. So anyway, thank you for watching, and thank you for helping the whole purpose of why I do what I do, and that is by sharing. And I appreciate it. Thank you.